Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the ultimate driving simulator. Where last time we were working on the Alteza race, or whatever the hell the name of this championship thing is, because I always seem to forget. And we're doing really well. We've been able to handle the competition with relative ease, and hopefully, even though I've taken some time off, it shouldn't hinder my ability to handle this, because we've got our lovely little yellow lovely out here. Our lovely little yellow lovely. It's not a very well-formed sentence, but we're going to deal with it. So, in the midst of which, we have things to talk about. The first of which, I got to do something, I got to try something for the very first time that I would have never thought that I would have tried, because I've been super weary about doing it for a really long time, but I finally broke down and did it yesterday. And so what happened was, yesterday I had the day off of work, and I was having a little family day with Michaela and Haley. And Preston was with his dad for yesterday, so I didn't get to spend any time with him. But that happens, and that's perfectly cool. But so we were having just like a little family day, and we were hanging out. And after a while, we started getting hungry. We're like, well, let's grab some food, even though couldn't use my debit card because apparently my bank account got compromised, and so all my funds weren't available. Go figure, by the way. Why does it seem that you only find out this kind of information when you're trying to use your card and it gets declined? Like, whatever happened to the days of the bank like actually physically calling you to tell you that there's something wrong, Like, I remember that when I first opened my bank account with Bank of America about 10 years ago, within the first month of me having an account there, my account got compromised. And the way that I found out was not only the fact that I went to go draw money out of the ATM or whatever, and it said that my account was overdrawn. I was like, that seems kind of weird. But like a half hour later, because I was at work, they called me and told me, hey, we've got some strange looking things on your account that don't seem quite right, can we review these things with you? And I was like, sure. And they found out that it was fraud, and they were able to fix it. And and that's happened, a time or two since then, and they always used to call me just in case they thought something was out of whack. But in the last, few scenarios of that, they really don't do that anymore. And so now it seems like the only time that you ever find out that there's something wrong with your bank account is when you're staring down the barrel of trying to use it, and then you find out, hey, there's insufficient funds in here, or card number doesn't work. And you're like, that's impossible. I fucking used it yesterday. There's no way this card number doesn't work, until you go onto your mobile banking app and they're like, oh, by the way, not that we'd actually have a human being with a life and a heartbeat and a brain and a voice box to call you and tell you that we thought that there was some fishy business going on. We're just gonna fucking throw it in the app and be like, oh, by the way, we're sending you a new card, so have fun with that. Don't use it. Don't use your other one because it doesn't work. But yeah, so that's just a mini rant, and it's now completed. So there's about a minute and a half of your life you're not getting back. But so we decided to go out and get some sushi because we love sushi and haven't had the opportunity of going out to do that in a little bit. So we're all getting our favorite stuff. I'm getting my spicy tuna roll, and I'm getting the Salem roll, which is it's like a fried thing that's got all sorts of crazy goodies in it. And I think I got some eel in there and a couple other things. And I think I also got some tobiko, which had some roe in it. It's basically caviar, more or less. It's delicious. But then Michaela decides, let's do the bold thing. She sees this thing coming by. Hey, Adam, you want to grab one of those? Hey, grab what? She's like, you said that the next time we came here, that if they had them out on the track, that you would get one and try it. I was like, I don't remember saying that, but fuck it, alright, let's go. And so, for the very first time, I grabbed some octopus off of this thing. And I've always been I've always had, I'm not like afraid of it, but it's just been something that never looks appealing to me. Just not even in the slightest. It just doesn't look good to me at all, you know? And so, for me, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be real bad. Because, like, I hate the texture, you know? It looks like a textural nightmare for somebody that's kind of self-conscious about that. Like, that's the one thing about mayonnaise that kind of freaks me out, is the texture of it's weird. Or, like, drinking cod liver oil, the texture's weird. Or just, I don't know, there's a lot of different things that just the texture of it really doesn't do it for me. And I've always thought that, you know, biting into octopus and getting, like, the suction cups and all that stuff just seems like it'd be the kind of thing that would really make you desire vomiting all over the table and floor and into your pants, and then have to deal with that on the way out. But I went for it, you know, I was like, I gotta do anything in my power to make this thing taste better, you know, because I don't even know what it's gonna taste like, and I hope it's not bad. But oh, and it's like making my skin crawl just thinking about it. I threw some ginger slices on it, and then some of like the soy sauce and wasabi kind of mixed together into like a little concoction or whatever, and I went for it, and just, oh, she took a video of it. I don't have access to the video right now because she's asleep right now, and so I can't get it from her, but she took a video of me eating these. There was 2 of them on this plate, and the first one I got by with it okay. But the second one was where I got a clean bite of just biting down on the head of this thing, and you could feel it just like going like up into your teeth. I didn't mean to slow down that much. That was a mistake. But I could just feel it, and as soon as that happened, then like the gag reflex and like the just instantaneous nausea kicked in, and I was like, oh god. I was like, oh, I'm biting into the brain. I can. It's like I'm tasting its memories. It's like I'm like reliving its first day at octopus school right now, and it's like it failed the math test. Great at writing, I would hope, because, you know, it's got numerous legs and such, and, you know, more abilities to write, but very bad at social studies. Octopus are not good at social studies. It's not even close. But oh god, and just like it was getting bad, and she and Haley are just sitting there just fucking yucking it up over there. They're just laughing up a storm while I'm sitting here just suffering through this. But I never gagged, never threw up or anything. I almost did. I got onto the last bite of this thing, the very last bite and the very last swallow of it, and I was like, oh, I'm home free right now, home free. You know, I just gotta swallow one more bite of this thing, and then I'm in the clear. I'll have conquered one of my food nightmares or whatever. I swallow it, and as soon as I get it down, it stopped like right here, and it started to go back up, and I could feel it. Oh god, it's like even doing it right now, and it just went whoop, like right here. It was like it was knocking on the door of just spewing vomit everywhere. Like, the door was open, and he was ready to set his foot inside, and then I forced it back down. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Oh man. And then everything was good, but oh god, that was not tight. I mean, it was, because I conquered a food fear, but it was not tight in the sense of I totally almost made an ass out of myself by vomiting all over a table inside of a restaurant. So, you know, that's what that is. So, in other news, I don't understand. This is going to be a mild rant of sorts. It may even turn into a moderate one, but this is so fucking stupid. I don't understand why the landscape of this country does this. You know, and it's all because of internet bullshit is really what this is. And I don't mean to get into like a weird politics realm. It's a very mild one. I'm gonna try to stay away from the political scope of it. But I read yesterday, I saw an article. I don't know who put it out. I don't even remember where it was. But apparently now, if you are a person of the Caucasian. You know, affiliation of skin tone and such. You know, if you are white, and you go to Starbucks, or even if you're not white, if you go to Starbucks and you indulge in the basic bitchism of getting a pumpkin spice latte, it does not matter whether you are white or you are not. If you indulge in a pumpkin spice latte or pumpkin spice anything, you are now a neo-Nazi. You are now a white supremacist, and you are basically, you are basically one of Hitler's reborn henchmen that is here to eradicate the world of anybody who's not blonde hair and blue eyes. That is an article that existed in the scope of media and journalism yesterday. What the fuck? Like, how far do we have to reach anymore? How far are we trying to reach to just, like, find anything? Next thing is going to be, if you chew Doublemint gum and not extra or any fucking thing else, you are trying to eradicate anybody of colored skin from this earth. Because, well, we saw in a picture a long time ago that Hitler went into a convenience store once and he bought Doublemint gum. So that means that all the most evil people in the entire world eat Doublemint gum, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, who comes up with this? Who comes up with these things? The internet comes up with these things, let's be honest with ourselves. It's just like, so all of a sudden, if you like a certain kind of latte from a very, very, progressive liberal company, no less, that all of a sudden you're throwing on the Klan hood and you're going out to the meetings in the middle of the night with the torches in the yard and the Grand Wizard and all that stuff. Like, what in the fuck? It apparently it just morphs you into a racist fucking thing. I don't understand. I really don't understand these narratives anymore. Oh man, I just that's just a place that I'm coming from here. I don't get it. I think that people are trying way too hard to create these things out of fucking nowhere because they're running out of ideas to make them with. So that's just what's going on with that. I didn't want to take up too much time on it because this is supposed to be an area where we can escape from politics, but that was one that I really had to dive into it for a moment because it was so divinely obscure and ridiculous that I couldn't avoid it for a moment. It had to exist for a second, so that's a thing. So hey, if you like pumpkin spice latte stuff or pumpkin spice anything, you might as well just say that you are one, because the internet says that it is so, and if the internet says that you are, that means that you are, even if you're not. I mean, shit, I have a pumpkin spice candle in my living room. I guess that must mean that tomorrow afternoon at 7:30 or whatever, I'm gonna go throw on the old white hood and go hang out with the brethren or some shit, even though I'm not white. So that's just what that is. But yeah, that's what's going on there. By the way, I got a couple new extremely obscurely named movies to go to watch here pretty soon that I downloaded the other day. One of which, again, don't know who it is that's coming up with these or when it is that they came up with it, but I think this is in the last couple of years. It's a movie called Attack of the Killer Donuts. Oh man, like, I can't even imagine. It's like one night, your average everyday proprietor of fine confectionery treats was working in his shop late at night when suddenly a radioactive semi-truck crashed through the window, and everybody was killed instantaneously, and everything was destroyed except for one individual box of frosted donuts, and the radioactive fluid contents of the semi-truck spilled out all over the floor. And it infected the box. It soaked it all the way up through the bottom. And they began becoming sentient. And they gained a life force of their own. And now they're on a murderous killing rampage to anybody that opens the box of doom. It's like, who the fuck comes up with this stuff? Like, it sounds so deliciously trashy and 80s. But it just, oh man, like, I can just imagine, like, somewhere in the movie it's gonna be somebody going to, like, a donut shop or whatever, and it's gonna be like, we're trying to give these ones away for free. There's just a couple left in there. I'll give them to you if you want them. Oh, sure, that sounds great. And so, you know, they go to open the box and they go to take a bite out of it, and all of a sudden, the donut sprouts a face and these giant, fucking crazy masticating fangs, and just takes a slab right out of their cheek, and then goes right for the jugular. And it's like, oh god, my brother just got killed by donuts. And then the cops come, because cops love donuts, because, you know, stereotypes and such. And they're like, hey, I'll take that shit off your hands. And then he's like, oh, come to Papa. You know, and then he turns into the host body. You know. And now he becomes a minion of the donut regime. Hellbent on world destruction, one radioactive donut at a time. You know, it's the world that we live in. So that's that's the inner machinations of my mind on what I think this movie could possibly be about. I may very well be wrong too, though. Who's to know? Also, this is another. I don't know whether I've addressed this or not, just because I haven't played this in a few days, and it's been a while since I can really recall past episodes and such. But I know that, you know, I have people that send comments into the message boards and whatnot, saying, "Hey, you're covering up the tire wear thing." I'm not, though. I don't know what happened. Like, you know, it seemed like all of the 5-lap and 7-lap things that we're dealing with in all the tournaments were supposed to have a tire wear thing down at the bottom of the screen, but I don't know what happened to make it so that, you know, we're not dealing with that anymore. It's just like there's some tournaments that have it and some that don't. Like, this would be seemingly like prime territory for that. You know, we have a 7-lap race here on a track that has a pretty moderate amount of fairly sharp turns. Like, this would be the perfect time to inject that sort of thing, where, you know, you got to figure out what lap is appropriate for, you know, jumping into the pits to figure out what's going on here. You know, you gotta, you know, think about, you know, some of these races where, you know, we had to really adamantly try for getting a huge lead or timing it just right to find out when everybody's going to hit the pits so that we knew when to go in. You know, I feel like, you know, while these races are still challenging in their own right, I kind of miss that whole, you know, that whole element of it. Because we had a couple of races that went from being just a blowout to right at the very end, some crazy stuff happens, and, you know, we either gotta really ward off the charge at the end, or we've got to build a charge of our own on the last lap to... No. Oh, God, that wasn't good. That one was really bad. But we still have the lead. That's fine. Kind of, you know, created a little bit of drama there for ourselves. But I don't know. I'm bummed out that they're not doing that in these recent episodes. It's okay in some cases, because I've been able to, you know, not have to focus quite as hard on what I'm doing. Because with those, you know, we had some times where we were really, really having to, you know, struggle pretty hardcore on some things. And I had to take breaks from what I was talking about in order to really address the task at hand. But at least with these, I've been able to kind of, you know, go about my business a little more comfortably. But yeah, this would be the perfect race where it shouldn't be as much of a deal, you know. Be able to hit the pits somewhere on like lap 3 or 4, and, you know, it might be a tad early, but still have more than enough time to, you know, to reestablish things after a while. There we go. Yeah, and like even here, not even any of the other cars are doing it. So it's just like they totally obliterated that entire concept of things. Okay, maybe by the end of this we'll be able to rebuild it back up to 4 seconds. Who's to even know? I'm hoping for good things, but you know, you can't get too far in on it. Oh my god, I'm hungry right now. I really need to get some food. Maybe some ramen. Ramen sounds good. Now I'm going over my pantry contents right now, because I need to get some blood sugar in me. What I'm really not looking forward to, though, is Sunday. Sunday's going to be a bad day. Sunday's going to be my grandma's funeral. We got it all set up for that. It's going to be a relatively, you know, short deal. you know, and we're obviously there's going to be a lot of people there, but you know, it's not going to be like a crazy long thing. One thing that I'm not super pumped about, though, I'm okay with it because, you know, it's something that she absolutely would have wanted because it was like one of her favorite family heirloom things. Was a long time ago when I was a kid, when I was just a wee lad. My grandma and a bunch of the other adult members of the family decided to put together like a family heirloom video of like all the kids. So, you know, it had like my brother and I and my cousins and all this, and it was like you know, it was basically like a slideshow of pictures showing us, you know, growing up to, you know, the age that we were at that time. And, you know, they threw it over some music and such, and like there was also some stuff of like my mom and dad in there when they had their wedding, and you know, like my Uncle Kurt and all this stuff. And so, you know, there's kind of like a little bit of everybody in there. And man, my mom and dad got all the awesome shit, man. They got to have like the Beach Boys music in there, and they got all the cool stuff, and then even with like some of the kids, they got the better music, and I got like this weird ass, like totally not tight classical like flute solo going on. And not that I have anything against classical music, I love classical music, but I did not like the one that I got whatsoever. And then of course, you know, there's always got to be the obligatory, you know, infant photo of me naked ass in the tub. You know, always got to have one of those in there. It's just, gosh dang it. And now there's going to be a whole bunch of people that I'm not even related to that are going to be seeing that at this service. And it's going to be on loop. It's going to be going more than once. And this tape is, you know, it's long enough that you can loop it, but it's long enough that you shouldn't. Because it's just like, we got to go through this thing again? Ah, the embarrassment. But it was like one of her favorite things. So it's like, you know, I can put my own human pride aside for her on this one. It's like the one last thing, you know. And so I'll be able to do that. It's going to be another hard thing too, is that I also have to speak at it, you know. Speaking in front of a large audience like that is something that really just throws the anxiety into full tailspin. And so that's going to be pretty tough. I mean, I'm not going to be, you know, doing like a full-on, you know, huge speech like my dad is, but I'm definitely gonna, you know, I think like all of the grandkids are gonna be doing, you know, like some like Bible scripture stuff, and so I'll be doing, you know, probably some kind of passage there. But I still, you know, even though I'm almost 30 years old, and you know, I've been doing, you know, public speaking in this, you know, medium for a long time, where, you know, I feel like I've become extremely comfortable this way. It's so much different when you throw a couple hundred people, or however many people is going to be there, into the mix, where you're seeing live reactions and you're seeing them all staring at you. It's just it just totally, you know, it's like a high school math test for me, you know. It doesn't matter how much you know, steel yourself up for it, and how much you try to, you know, ready yourself for the task at hand. The very second that it's put in front of you, or the very second that you stand up there, it's all gone. It's all gone, and the anxiety and the stress and just everything is just like boom. Spotlight's on you, brother. And it's like, it's overwhelming is really what it is. But yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, it's gonna be all good, and then, you know, we'll be able to really, I think, really start the healing process all the way from there, and then just hope that nothing else happens for a good long time. I can't take any more family emergencies, you know. Even though we totally just had one the other night, we had another instance with my grandma here at the house that I live with, where, you know, she had another mild heart attack, and it was all set off in just one of the most easily avoidable, and just like when you hear it, you're just like, oh god, of all the ways to set it off, it had to be that. It was set off by just the phone ringing, because she would fallen asleep and she was taking a nap, and I think it was, you know, like one of the nurses had called, or somebody called, and the shock of her hearing that while she's asleep it shocked her awake, but it also made her heart just go insane. And so, with that, now, then her blood pressure started going crazy, and she had to take all the nitroglycerin again. And you're only allowed to they only allow you to take like 3 of those a day. Anything more than that is really, pushing the limit on what's acceptable. Over the course of when that first happened to later when I got home, she had taken 6 of those, and an oxycodone, which, also is supposed to work in a similar vein to that. And she had to take anti-anxiety medication to, help with the stress of all of that. And she had to take morphine, because that's another thing that's supposed to help out. And just, she'd taken so many things. And we thought that, God forbid this is the moment that it all shakes down and this is the bad thing. Oh, we got a Vitz, huh? I already have a Vitz. I don't need that one, but we'll sell it. And we just we're thinking, oh, please don't let this be the time, because she has a thing where when she passes, she wants to pass here at the house. She will not go back to a hospital regardless of what the situation is. So if it turns into a giant thing, she's throwing in the towel here. And so we're thinking, please don't let it be right now. We can't. We're we don't want her to go yet. And eventually, after many hours and the hospice nurse coming and checking everything out, they were able to calm her down, and everything ended up being fine after that. But it was a scary situation. We were not prepared for that, and it was a lot. So luckily, Grandma Foster still here. Or actually, I'm sorry, Grandma Waters. She is not a Foster. She is a Waters. It's my mom. It's my mom's mom. Yeah, she's my mom's mom. My mom was adopted, and so whole crazy long lineage of stuff there. So, all right, my friends. Well, we made it through that thing. We got through it undefeated, which was awesome. So, when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, the simulator of driving, which is of ultimate stature, we are running out of things to do in the Amateur League. I think that there is only... oh, there's 2 to go. We've got the Evo meeting, and we've got the Dream Car Championship. So, we're going to hop in the Evo. We're going to soup it up a little bit, even though we already have one that's probably ready to go. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think we got a couple of them in there that we can fiddle around with. So, until then, my friends, this is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.